Hello and welcome to Vibrant Story Studios. On today's episode, River Tales, where we're telling stories about waters and rivers, specifically our adventures in water. There's only 3 of us today.
Yep, no guests this time. Just me, Tim.
And your boy Cooper, what's up?
And your host, Kyle.
So I think you guys have decided that I will go first because my first stories are always terrible.
Yeah, it's humorous.
So actually, if there's anything I remember from my childhood is that I always played in the river with my best friend. And we went down to the river every day, and we did what we called barfic tubing. I can't remember what we came up with the name of it for. I think it was every day there was this small patch of like algae covered rocks that was, so you could slide on. You go on the river, you sit down, and go up the algae covered rocks, and then the rocks hit your unmentionables, and then it's terrible when you do it again. Because it was fun, okay?
Now, did you do it on purpose to hit those? Or?
No, I didn't do it on purpose, but sliding on those rocks were so much fun.
Okay, so I think this is what he just asked, but I just have to double check. You didn't intentionally hit yourself in the nuts, did you?
No, I did not intentionally hit myself in the nuts. I don't get off on that kind of stuff, Timmy.
I don't know, some people do.
This is true, but I'm not one of those. So,
It's just what it made. You just made it sound like that. Moving on. All right.
along this river was a small little, I wouldn't call it a cove, but I'm going to call it a cove because I can't think of another word for it. It was basically just some rocks and a little cave area. Just a little inlet. And there was, we went there and explored there every day, or most every day, in this little patch. And there was one day we found a tire that it was like an old school tire, like from a car, that was just on the bank. Now, the fun part about rivers is that there's a lot of stuff you can find. Like one time we found a chair just in the river, and I sat in it, and I swam under it, and it was great. And then it disappeared, and my friend doesn't believe it existed, and he was there. So either I was wrong, or he's wrong.
Or vivid imaginations.
Or vivid imaginations. So we explored it. We try to figure out how to get it out of the water, right? Or because it was halfway in the mud and we couldn't figure this out.
And how big were the dimensions of this tire?
Take it it was like a standard car tire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to make the size of it on a podcast with my hands. Just take a standard car tire and put it in mud, like halfway up.
Okay.
And
like a sedan tire, not like a big truck tire.
Yeah, like a sedan tire. So we couldn't get it out no matter how much we pulled because it's stuck in the mud, and it was also like the way it worked. This was like there's a house up on the hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a hill down to the little cove area, and then like a 5-foot drop off, and then the water. So obviously we couldn't just reach down and pull it up because you couldn't.
Yeah.
So we gave up, and then a week later we came by, and someone who else had been there and attached a rope to it and hoisted it up. So they didn't take it; they just pulled it. They just hoisted it up and tied it off somewhere, and I was very confused.
So wait, they made a tire swing.
Kinda, because it wasn't a hollowed out tire. It still had the rim and
it was a full wheel.
It was a full wheel.
Full wheel with tire. Okay.
With tire on it. So, and I was trying to figure out how they did that because that tire's heavy. A tire is heavy.
Yeah,
right?
Especially with the rim.
With the rim and everything, and to be able to pull it out, to attach a rope to it, and then pull it and tie it off. I was like, who could have done this? I didn't do it. My friend didn't do it. We were 13. There's no way. We're not strong enough for that stuff. And yeah, it's the whole thing. Oh, but that also reminds me that there was this is a little short one. That we had this ghost chair. And I say it's a ghost chair because every day we found it, it appeared on the other side of the river. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, oh, they just picked it up and move it. No, this chair was torn apart, old, in the dirt. It's like someone had sat it decomposed, or whatever chairs do when they're left alone. And was buried, and then it was on the other side of the bank, right? And we came by, and it was on the other side, on the side that we were on, and then we didn't see it for years, and then one day before I had left to move somewhere, it was in a different location entirely. It's just this ghost chair that appeared randomly by this area that we was at, and it was the most mind-boggling thing ever.
What kind of chair was it? Was
A
it?
recliner.
It was a recliner. Okay,
Yeah.
so it wasn't. It wasn't like a wooden chair.
No, it was like a recliner. Yeah.
What other things do chairs do when you leave them alone? It's a ghost chair.
It's a ghost chair. I don't know.
Is it a paranormal chair?
Might have been.
Did it haunt your nightmares in the 2 years it was gone?
No. But speaking of ghosts and nightmares and stuff, my friend and I avidly explored a storm drain that was by the riverbank because we're.
Oh,
smart
so that
kids.
river was probably.
Yeah, no, it was a river that, look, it flooded during heavy rainfall, but it wasn't like when we explored it, there was no risk of it rising up to that point. But there was this one time, and okay, so this happened for like a couple of months that we could not get past this one spot. We would go into the storm drain and we'd explore, and because it's a drain, it banks corners and whatever, right? Whatever drains do. I don't build them, I just explore them. So there was this one spot where the way you looked at it looked like there was an old guy holding a lantern, right? Straight up, I can't make this up. Looked like there was an old guy holding a lantern. And my friend and I, we freaked out every time we saw that. Like, oh my God, someone's down here. Oh, we're gonna die. Ah, whatever. So after a couple months of like going to that spot, we eventually went forward, and it was just the angle, and we felt stupid. To which we proceeded to go down the rest of it.
So what was it?
Nothing. It was the angle. Just how we saw it, the angle of where the light came in, and how the storm drain sat with all like the exits and everything. It was just the angle. Looked like a person with a lantern.
So it's just light and shadows.
Light and shadows, all it was.
Nice.
Yeah, and we were scared of it for like a couple months. We were scared of angles.
Angles are scary if you don't have anyone to measure them and you need to like draw them.
Oh, yeah,
Have
angles.
you ever had to like do anything exact without a protractor? That's a nightmare. I'm being serious. It's annoying. I've got a camera protractor on my phone. It sucks trying to line it up. For starters, for some reason, it inverts the footage like it does like on a selfie cam, but when the camera's going forward. So I'm like trying to find where it is with my pencil, and I'm like, ah! And my hands shake. Because my hands just shake. That's just something that's always been there.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and it's shaking, and I'm trying to line up the thing, and I'm like, no!
You just need a normal protractor is what you need.
He didn't have one.
one.
How do you...
So I downloaded an app. This was a sculpture class. No protractor.
Interesting.
It was a state of emergency.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, that ends my river tales of ghost chairs, angle that looked like a man, and exploring and, chairs and whatever.
Well, that was a fantastic story, Cooper. Tim, why don't you go next?
Thank you.
Shucks. Okay. So, unsurprisingly, my story, or at least the first one, has to do with a river.
Wow.
Now, who would have guessed? But,
I wouldn't.
Who'da thunk?
But, so I know this will kind of segue into yours too, Kyle, but there's going to be a little buffer, so it's not going to be a perfect segue. It's only going to have one wheel. But,
It's a wheelbarrow.
that was a segue joke. A bad one.
Some people got it.
I think
You two
Kyle-
didn't.
I think Kyle's the only one who got it. No, I got it.
I was trying to be polite and not laugh and, clip the microphone.
Okay, sure. That's why you didn't laugh.
Yeah, I was like, that's your concern.
Okay.
I'm trying actively in this one.
Okay, so, my family, for basically the only time that I can remember, decided to go canoeing. And it would have been a perfect idea had it not been in the middle of a drought. So we got there and we rented the canoe and stuff. It was just a local park. You could just rent canoes and embark onto the river.
Yep.
I don't know terms.
And
Embark?
they push you off.
They shove you. Actually, no, they didn't shove us. We did it ourselves.
I'm proud
But so we did everything you're supposed to. We put our car keys and stuff in baggies and stuff. All that kind of stuff. It was all good to go. It would have been the perfect canoe trip
if there had been water.
if there had been water. If there had not been a drought. So from the moment we shoved off, we were canoeing, and we're not so much as paddling as we are
Dragging
pulling our way across because the water is maybe 1.5 feet deep and it's scraping on the bottom. I don't even know why they were still renting them, to be honest.
They were still making good money if you were like, oh, it's hot, it's been dry, let's go in the river.
So for about 30 minutes, it was across the bottom until we finally get to the one deep spot. And we're like, yes.
We lasted
Gotten
for 15
to the
feet.
one deep spot, and we were having a good time. We got a little too close to some the shrubs, the foliage on the side a couple
Yeah.
times. But it was good. It was going well. And about halfway through the actual deep part. And when I say deep part, it was only 4 feet. It's a drought.
Yeah.
It's not the way the river normally is.
4 feet is usually the average depth of the river when you're canoeing because they don't want you like
Yeah. You can get to deep spots though, and you get to like 8-10 foot.
8-10 feet. You
And
know,
some-
some
in some
places,
parts, yeah.
some places you can get
This
to 16.
This part honestly probably would have been an 8-10 foot area
yeah, had not been for that.
had there not been for the drought. Everywhere else would have been about 4 feet. It was like real low. So we do the thing that, of course, what happens because it's 3 of us crammed into the thing.
Ooh,
I can't remember how long ago this was particularly. Either my sister wasn't born yet, or she was not old enough to go canoeing. Either way,
one of the two.
one of the two. This was a while ago. No, she was probably born and just like 2 or 3 years old, so not going to go canoe. I think this is when my mom had a Nissan Pathfinder, because
I think I remember.
well, yeah, we did what normally happens when you go canoeing, which is it tips, and we all go in.
Thank God it wasn't in like the,
If we had managed to
you had-
somehow tip it when the whole damn boat's flush with the bottom of the river, I would have been impressed.
I would have been impressed too.
But
Thank God you were in the deeper part of the deep part. I mean, because
well, we almost lost the keys in the wallet.
I mean that's a given. You know,
Yeah.
whenever you flip a canoe, like, I'll get into what happens when you flip a canoe in my story.
Yeah.
When you
that's
flip a
why I knew
canoe
it was the
proper.
segue. But
Proper way.
like, so we finally ride it, and of course it's just like this is the only time we've ever been canoeing. We're not an outdoorsy family, so this was one of our ventures out, and we got soaked. And then, inevitably, because this part of the river was more like a loop, we did a little lap. It
Yeah.
connected to other parts and stuff,
Uh-huh.
but this course was a loop essentially. We got back to a shallow part, and it went for the next 20 minutes until we got back to where we.
At least you dried off, probably.
I feel like at that point you should have just stood up and just carried it.
See, the thing about where we live is even when there's a drought, if you're next to the water, it's humid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
just how it is.
You don't really dry off, no.
Yeah.
But so that's the first little story I have. The other one is more of a tidbit that I will go into some detail on and some build up. So this is from way back in the day.
Back in my day.
Like
Back in my day.
I don't know,
Back in
5 or 6 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah, this was a while ago. So remember when you're a kid? I don't know, like if you've seen them, or sometimes they did have them like preschools and stuff. I remember, like water tables, where it's like this little play set on a table that you flood with water, and it's like a bath, but you're outside and you go like you play with stuff.
I've
Is it
never
suppo-
seen that.
Is it supposed to be like this is how flooding works? And erosion and shit?
No. It's literally just like a play set.
So it's
on
not a
a
science
table.
kit.
No,
Oh,
it's not a science kit.
Oh, I
It's
think
like
I know what
it's
you're
like
talking
Fisher
about.
Price makes them sometimes too.
I think I know what you're talking
It's
about.
literally just toys
Yeah, I think they had one
with
at,
little
like,
boats and stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think-
sometimes ducks, or they
Yeah.
have like this.
I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about.
you take like a cup or something, and you do this, and it like spins through a little thing and goes down a thing into something else.
I'd like to point out you just made all that with your hands, and this is.
Oh well, so like
It spins and goes places.
it's got like a water wheel or something, and it goes down a trough or something else. Like
Why we gotta use all these
you
technical
just
words?
play with water, you know?
Yeah, let these people use their imaginations like we did when we were 5.
Yeah, it's like most of the time when I was a kid, like growing up, my dad would just turn the sprinkler system on, and I'd pretend they were spy lasers, and I'd try to avoid them or something like that. Because that was my childhood.
My childhood was playing in a river.
It was just like
That's why
Mission
my-
Impossible.
That's why my immune system is so great.
Hi, you had sprinklers?
You had a house?
We had a garden hose.
I joke.
We had a garden hose
I lived
and
in the house.
coolers.
Garden hose wins every water gun fight.
It
Yeah,
does.
but that's like
Unless you
cheating.
got that like super soaker that was big enough to put ice cubes in, that wins.
It does.
That wins. We also had one that you put food coloring in. It was like anti-dye, so it wouldn't get like stained or anything. So you just put the food coloring in, and then you'd like spray people like green.
That
That sounds
cool.
amazing.
That sounds awesome.
It was messy, but yes,
Yeah.
amazing. But back to the water table. We're 5 or 6. I kind of knew better. This was a my bad situation. So, my neighbor and basically my sister, and I would play outside all the time, and she was the kind of person who gets into trouble more often than I did, and I would follow along because it was fun. And I was a goody two shoes, and that was my only instance of getting in trouble.
Timmy.
Yeah. So there's the water table, right?
I want to meet this person who can get Tim to be a rebel.
No, Timmy's
She hasn't been able to do that in a long time.
Oh, okay.
But like after 10, I was just too much of a goody two shoes, and she couldn't do me to do anything.
Yeah, I remember you going through high school, and like Timmy wouldn't do anything remotely cool, and I'd do something like
I'd
slightly.
fuss at you for trespassing.
Yeah, you'd fuss at me for doing shit like that, and I was like, that's why whenever I got Timmy, I got at his house. I was like, Timmy, you're my favorite, but I can't take you anywhere.
Can't take you anywhere. We're just gonna go home and play video
You
games.
just get mad at me.
But
This is true, though. This is true.
I was like, you can't go in there. It's trespassing. I was just like, no, I'm gonna go in. And I'm like, well, I'll be standing right here.
Yeah, Timmy would wait.
I was that kid.
Timmy would wait outside. I would go in and do stuff, and Timmy would be like, "I'll wait right here till you come out. I can't get in trouble," and I wouldn't even want to get in trouble. I didn't even get in trouble that one time I broke into a concession stand, which I think I talked about in the last story.
Yeah. But anyways, regardless, back to this water table. So my parents are inside, and
Uh-huh.
it's a dry day, and we want to go like play in the water.
Uh huh.
So we go outside.
Okay.
Really dry.
Uh-huh.
Water table's outside.
Okay.
We want to go play in the water.
Sounds like a plan.
I will punch you.
Do you ever have a slip and slide?
Yes.
Slip and slides are fun.
Yeah, they can be painful though.
Well, if you use like garbage bags or whatever, like the off-brand. Off-brand.
Tell me the company that makes slip and slides. I would love to know because I don't remember them.
Fisher Price.
Either. Maybe. So we get out there, and we're about ready to set it all up with the water, and she notices that my dad has left some motor oil
Uh huh.
out, and she said, "No, we should use this."
God. It kind of doesn't surprise
And
me.
I was
though.
like, "Why
Yeah.
not just water?" And then she was just like, "No, we should use this," and I was like, why not?" So we fill it up with motor oil.
Oh my God.
And it was a mess. And best to my memory, we were both coated.
In motor oil.
Yeah, like hands, arms,
And that's-
dripping on us.
And
That stuff does not come off.
And Tim, that's the day Timmy learned not to go near an open flame.
We ended up playing with water as well. I think we had the water set up. But
You
like,
added some soap to it. So when you slid down, it cleaned you.
no.
Oh.
Like I was about to like fill it with water or something, or maybe I started and she was like, no, use this. And I'm like,
Okay.
sounds fun. I don't know what that is.
But you recommend it, so I'm gonna do it.
But sure, it was messy. And I don't remember much else except for a little bit of playing in that. And how mad my dad was.
Oh, I bet. I was about to say.
I can imagine because motor oil's not cheap.
No, it's not. And
Motor oil is expensive.
like, it was full lawnmower, which is why I was out.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh my God.
yeah, no, it was a mess. I just remember the mess. I'm sure it killed the entire area of grass where that was.
Oh yeah, no.
It was around the side of the house. It hasn't done any lasting damage apparently because I'm pretty sure that grew back.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. I'll check next time I'm at home.
Man, that
But-
must have like that probably did some damage. to your skin as well.
Maybe. I don't know. We were young and all grows back.
Yeah. When you're young like that, you can recover from anything.
Basically.
All right. Well, that is basically the end of my story. Told you my second one would not segue into yours.
Not at all.
But the first one does.
The first one did exceptionally well. So, my story is the time me and my family were on a river when we got really, really drunk. And Naby flipped an entire canoe. We were in kayaks,
But it was a canoe.
but we flipped a canoe
Nice.
the proper way. So, okay, we were the ones who had the canoe, but we were using the canoe as basically a base of operations for the beer cooler, for the food, and all of the valuables. And we had the two most responsible people we knew in the canoe. And that is a lie, because it was my Uncle Jeremy and my Aunt Carlene. And Aunt Carlene, love her to death. She is very responsible. My uncle, not. But anyway, so we were out on this river. It was a wet season when we were out there.
Opposite of my family's experience.
Complete opposite of your family's experience, because we went and there was a 40% chance of rain. 40% chance of rain. Keep that in mind. Keep that statistic in mind. There was a 40% chance of rain. My father, when he was out there, my Aunt Carlene didn't even want to go, but my dad was like, no, we are having family fun time, and it is not going to rain. You have my seal of guarantee that it will not rain. Well, we get out there. It's a little cloudy. There's some sunshine coming in every now and then.
Okay, this is where the 40% comes into play.
This is where the 40% comes into play. Like, there's a 40% chance of rain. There's a little bit of a cloud bank on the horizon. But Dad's like, no. We're going to be on this river for 2 hours. I guarantee you it will not rain. So, we have a total of like 8 kayaks, a canoe, and a bunch of floaties. Like, we have...
Like the family fun times.
Yeah, it's family fun time. We're dragging along a bunch of stuff. We have like, what are those tubes called?
Inner tubes.
Yes, I don't know why I forgot that word. We had a bunch of inner tubes, and we had the canoe, and we had brought with us a total of about there were 3 families with us. It was my family, which were my dad, my mother, and my 2 brothers and me. We had Aunt Carlene, my Uncle Jeremy, and their 2 kids, and then we had another good family friend of ours.
Yeah.
They're not particularly important to the story,
But they're there.
but they were there and they were having a good time.
Good.
We had brought along with us the combined family. We had brought around 3 coolers, 2 of which were filled with beer and other alcoholic substances,
And the other one was for the kids.
and the other one was filled with sandwiches, because we were going to make sandwiches on the way there, and we had an assortment of very other dry snacks that we were going to snack on the way there.
So,
Wait,
what
hold on,
were
hold on,
you
hold on,
supposed to drink?
Hold on. You brought alcohol and dry food.
When
Did
I
you
say
bring water?
yes, we brought water.
gonna
I mean,
say.
we brought a stipend of water.
Enough for one person.
enough for those people who were supposed to be designated drivers, which were mostly the older kids. So yeah,
And that is what children are for.
that is
That
what
is what
children.
children are for. You wait until they can drive, and then you get hammered.
Exactly. Pro
That's why
parent tip.
That is why Timmy's holding up.
That is why you have children, folks. So you can get drunk on a river and like leave the driving to the kids. But they didn't get pissed drunk, but they got
Let's just say they don't remember
Woo!
all of the trip.
they won't remember all of the trip. But anyway, so we get onto the river, and it's sunny-ish. There are clouds on the horizon. They're coming in. We all get there. We get on the bus. We give them their kayaks. We get down there, and then we're shoved off, and it's immediately like 4 feet, 5 feet deep,
Nice.
because we had a little bit of rain, and he's telling us, all right, so this river's pretty calm, but if it starts raining, you might, see the current pick up a little bit, but it should be fine. And we're just my Aunt Carlene's telling us, just kind of giving my father the stink eye because he's like, see, he thinks it's gonna rain. Guarantee, not gonna rain.
I trust this man.
I trust this man. He is my father. So we're on this river for maybe 30 seconds before my family collectively starts to open beers and other alcoholic substances.
Nice.
They had like, did you know that they had wine in a bag?
Yeah.
I did not know that there was wine in a bag until this trip.
Like the bag, or like the like really loose cardboard box wine?
No. It's literally a bag. It's like a Kool-Aid thing.
Okay, because I've seen boxed wine, but I've also seen
That's
like
usually what box wine is. It's just the bag.
No. This is literally like a Kool-Aid.
I've seen like boxed
it's wine,
and then
Kool-Aid
I've seen
bag.
like
Bottles.
wine that's like half box, half bag, and I'm like, what's that? It was weird.
Wine
It
coolers.
was like a square bag.
I think those are wine coolers.
I guess I don't know.
But anyway, like
I said
literally,
I seen it. And I saw it on TV. I don't know.
there was wine in cans. There was
Classy.
yeah, classic. We're not white trash, but we're close.
We're not white trash. We're class trash.
We're close. But anyway, so the kids, we essentially we get into two different groups. We have we have most of the family in one big, basically they tied each other up and they're basically drifting
Yeah.
along the river, slow like enjoying music that's being played on speakers that they brought that are supposed to be waterproof. Supposed to be.
They weren't, were they?
I feel like
I'll get to it. And we had everyone's valuables, like, car keys, wallets, the important stuff with the alcohol in the canoe, because the canoe is the safest thing. You would think.
I feel like I need to go and hang out with your family on holidays.
We're fantastic.
You know what the safest place is?
Actually, in the kayaks, because they don't
shore.
The further
Well-
you are from danger, the closer you are to danger, the further
farther
you are
away from harm.
Yep.
But my family's great. We have fun every time.
We have fun.
We have fun. So we're out there for maybe 20 minutes before like the clouds cover the sun.
And then
It gets
is dark.
really dark. I mean, it's still like 70 degrees. And so like everyone's like hot. We wouldn't mind if we got a little wet.
Like, oh, okay. It might rain. It's maybe a little sprinkle.
A little sprinkle, it's just we're fine. We're thinking 40%. It's gonna be like a little light
That's
rain.
like 60% not rain.
That's 60% not rain. So like 40% rain is just kind of like a little light sprinkle. It'll be fine.
It's like 60% air. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm in 100% air. If it's a little bit more moist, who cares? I'm on the river.
Yeah.
It's like so like it's a little humid. We're just kind of like whatever. My Aunt Carlene's like, I'm telling you, Russ, it's going to storm like no one's business. She's from Louisiana, so she has like the storm sense thing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I never believed it until this moment, because literally 10 minutes after
The cloud cover.
I'm sorry, it was 10 minutes after we got into the river, cloud cover came on.
Okay.
Literally, as soon as she said it was going to storm, not even 2 minutes later, it started. Like you just hear thunder
The
sound.
thunder, and then just a heavy downpour.
Cooper, do a thunder sound.
It's my best thunder sound, okay?
Okay.
Oh, wait,
was
hold on, no. Before you continue, we have to prove that he could lightsaber noise. Go.
Oh, fuck, fine. There.
All right.
You satisfied with that?
Now the audience knows what you can be capable of, and you just are not good with thunder, and that's acceptable.
Motorcycle.
It's not more of a motorcycle, it's more of a car engine, but...
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, so literally 2 minutes after she says, Russ, it's going to storm, thunder, and torrential downpour. We're in the middle of a monsoon.
Well, that'd be a hurricane. A monsoon is the same. A monsoon, a hurricane, and a typhoon are all the same thing. Do you know that? It's just a regional, what they call it.
Actually, typhoon and hurricane are the same thing. A monsoon is just a very heavy rainstorm.
Fine.
Typically with lots of flash flooding. Like, lots of flash flooding.
Either way, it's raining
river.
so hard we cannot see 2 inches in front of our face. And like us kids, we were just kind of like, "Oh, this is great." We like our mood instantly just went. All the adults, except for Carlene, they're having a blast.
Sounds like I would have
Like
fun at that.
my uncle Jeremy, like it starts thundering and storming, and he's like, "Whoa!" He gets up, he starts like screaming to the, to
gods.
the gods, like, "Bring it on! Family fun time!" Screaming that at the top of our lungs because that was my dad's motto for this trip: family fun time. We were gonna have family fun time. He was gonna make shirts afterward that said family fun time. Screaming that at the top of his lungs was my uncle. In the middle of this monsoon with thunder, lightning, all the adults are cheering. They have beer and wine open. They're having a blast. We eventually kind of get into the mood because, like, we have another 2 hours on this river in this torrential downpour, and, like, they can't, like, let us back.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's all muddy and stuff, and, like, the bus has already left.
Yeah.
So we have to go down the river for another 2 hours, in this rain, just kind of like, dealing with it.
Yeah, of course. That's all you can do.
But, my uncle, he's getting, more and more intoxicated and is making less, knowledgeable decisions. After his whole stunt was standing up in the middle of the canoe, he sat back down, and my aunt, my aunt's mood is worsening. So, me and my brothers, we get we want to get this done and over with. So, like, we start paddling as fast as we can on little tiny kayaks because we're thinking this is gonna fill up and then we're gonna sink. That doesn't actually happen in kayaks, apparently. After you be in a kayak for a long time, and you be on rivers in them for a long time, you learn things about kayaks. 1, they're nearly impossible to flip over. 2,
Yeah.
they're one of the most stable boat flotation device there is. Like, you can get water dumped in it over and over and over again, and you're basically fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're really good for that.
They're really good for that. Canoes, on the other hand, those things tip often and easily, and, like, they don't handle water all that well. Because they're not meant to. So, we get down this river fairly fast because, we're kids, we're strong, we're just gonna, like, paddle, 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 paddle. Gods, why? Paddle, paddle. Is it raining, type thing? So, like, us kids, and I say kids, I basically mean anyone who's, like, in the ages between, like, 21 to, like, 16. That was the kid age. We didn't have any kids that were, like, really, really, like, we had 2 kids who were really, really young, but they were with the adults, not technically drinking.
But they shared it a little bit.
Just they got a taste.
They got a
That's what it is. You have to, like, give them a taste when their taste buds are, like, just kind of like, this is disgusting, so they never taste it again. Parent fact.
So my dad did to my sister and I. Well, not when we were kids.
I have another fun story about alcohol my mother will enjoy, but I'll leave that to another day. But anyway, so we get down there and we're waiting at the end of this river because, like, we can't leave.
Yeah.
Our parents are piss drunk in a river. Like, we can't just leave. And we're waiting there for, like, an hour.
Yeah.
Because I'm not kidding. We hurried this out because we're like, it's lightning, it's thundering. We don't want to be here.
Yeah.
We don't want to be here. Like, halfway through we were like, this is nothing. This is not even that bad.
Yeah.
And we were like, we should probably wait. But then my brothers were like, nah, man, we're going strong. Let's finish this out. And so we did.
Nice.
Um,
Proud of
but
you.
we're waiting there for an hour just in these kayaks, trying not to move with the current. And it got worse, like the guide said, because it was raining, and it was raining really hard. So we're fighting against the current for basically an hour. And then we see our collective family tied together, just screaming at the top of their lungs country songs.
Okay.
My uncle is, like, standing in 2 different kayaks. Yeah, basically, like 2 different adults who are just kind of paddling along, trying to make sure he doesn't fall off of him, and my aunt is just sitting there sulking. And my uncle, like, he sees us and he decides it's probably a good time to get back into the canoe. He jumps.
Smart.
Yeah, he's a smart man. He really is. He really is. I love my uncle. But he jumps into the canoe, which is, if you, as these two have already pointed out, is not the best idea. And essentially he jumps, lands, starts flailing his arms like cartoonishly,
Yeah.
in the huge circles, leans back. I just hear one word from my aunt being screamed at the top of her lungs before the canoe rolls. And it's her screaming, Jeremy! And then it just kind of goes. And like,
flips.
it rolls. And it literally discards the 3 coolers and all the trash,
Oh.
as well as the 2 people who were in the canoe. Because they don't have like seat belts or anything. You're just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you put seatbelts on a canoe, there's a drowning hazard. 'Cause
It
if
is a-
flips,
yeah.
you're stuck.
Uh-huh.
No, actually, it rolled, so it went all the way.
Well, I mean, canoes
Because it
can
had the-
easily get stuck upside down.
And they can
Yeah.
easily get stuck upside down.
Some
Yeah.
of them have like straps across your waist, but those are usually like you can take those off.
Yeah, you'd like to have a little button safety release of like, I'm sinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why. Same thing with lifeguards.
Yeah.
Lifeguards, life vests,
Lifeguard vests. Yeah.
lifeguard
Life
vests.
vests.
They're vests that guard your life.
Exactly. But anyways, so everyone is like, what just happened? And like, we're dying. Everyone is dying. Like, cause
Physically, everyone's going losing their life forces.
we were laughing so hard. We spent the next, 20 minutes desperately trying to pick up like everything that was like, we had to start
Remember.
diving for the coolers.
Oh jeez.
We spent maybe another like hour in that
Damn.
river,
Jeez.
in the rain, trying to get stuff out from the bottom of the. Because like the ending part is like still it's 4 feet deep, but it's
Yeah.
raining, it's muddy, and like
There's a current.
there's a current. We'd lost like 3 people's wallets.
Ooh.
Yeah. We I think we lost a cooler. I can't remember. I think it was one of the aluminum coolers though. Not aluminum. What the hell am I saying? Styrofoam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That is very different from aluminum, cut.
I know, and I was
It
just
is.
like, it was not aluminum. What the hell am I saying? It
I
was
was sitting there
styrofoam.
thinking- Aluminum cooler. Well, it has to be just aluminum plated because aluminum, by itself, does not make a good cooler.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. No, I meant styrofoam. I was just like cheap material, and it was like aluminum. And I was like, that's not what? No, styrofoam. We lost a styrofoam cooler, so that was great for the environment.
All the little fishies.
I think we got. No, we did not get all of the trash. We got a lot of it. We didn't get most of it. Because there was a lot of trash.
Oh, I mean, it's a current too, so there's some
Yeah,
you
no.
just
No, we lost some. But yeah. Well, thankfully, like none of the because they have like is it Coast Guard that guards the rivers too as well? Because like
I don't think it's the Coast Guard.
I don't know
think
the
there's
Coast
just-
Guard. I think it's literally just major ports and the coast.
yeah, but it's still like we still have a Coast Guard here, even though we're
There's well, it's more of like there's like a river protect. Okay.
not. It's like yeah, they do.
they have like
do-
a river protection. Thing.
Yeah, they go out when people are drowning in rivers as well.
I mean,
I don't know what they're called, but I know they.
I don't know if
exist.
they're Coast Guard though.
river.
It
drive.
might
Anyway,
be like a branch of the Coast
It
Guard.
might
that's
be a
called
branch of
something
the
different.
it
I'm
might be a
not
branch
sure
of
yet.
the
If
Coast Guard.
anyone
It could
knows-
just be a branch of the police.
Or it could just be
The
the people-
police.
The police.
The police. Shut up.
Po. The boys in blue. Coppers.
Jesus, it's the fun.
Scramble cats. Welcome. to that.
Anyway, so yeah, my aunt has a storm sense, and it was proven that day.
Yeah.
But and also another reason we knew it was our family because every once in a while you would just hear "family fun time" in the distance. Woo! It's great. I love my family. All right, well,
Guess
Cooper.
Does anybody have anything else to add?
I don't think so. I can't even think of a story right now. All I can think about is fucking just the amount of time I spent over there trying to catch crawfish with like a terrible makeshift fishing lure. By that I mean it was literally a string tied to a stick, and we tried to fish with it.
This isn't Minecraft. This is real life.
Yeah. Well,
Did you at least have a hook?
No.
We just think they were gonna like. Get
I don't know.
to?
It was fun. Okay.
You think they were gonna like walk up to the walk? You think they were gonna swim up to the string, take the time to tie a knot around themselves, yank on it, say, "I'm good."
It's like I'll give him this one.
I'll give them this one. Oh, maybe they'll throw me back. They don't look like the kind of people who know how to cook a fish.
This is true. I did at one point, man. I want to go camping, but I've been trying to organize camping since. Oh, I have a story. It's not a camping story. It's not a river story, but can I tell it?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Quickly though.
Okay. So, you remember? Okay, high school, right? High school pranks, where at
Yes.
least where Timmy and I went to, were terrible, right? The senior prank, blah blah blah, was the same in both junior and senior year. Anyway, so here's a very disappointing story. This was during middle school, right? Mm-hmm. My friend had come up with this idea. He said, "What if we dressed up as Pac-Man characters and ran around?" Right? So me, being the awesome person that I am, actually talked to the principal about it. Got her permission. She said, as long as you guys don't go into classrooms and do this, you fine. Get the costumes, whatever. Run around. Don't disturb any classes or anything. And I was like, dope. I didn't think it'd work, right? My friend didn't do it, and I am still mad at him to this day because I put the effort. No one listens to a 13-year-old about running around school. I'm surprised she even entertained the idea, right? So it was this whole thing. We didn't do it, and I was so sad, and I'm so mad still, and I want to go camping.
I'm so mad still, and I want to go camping.
Well, that's as good a place as any to end this, I guess.
My mind works in very mysterious ways. The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. Spilt milk. To those who remember that.
All right.
Well, that's been another episode. We know what you're talking about, Cooper.
Dope.
No, Patrick.
I know.
This has been a Vibrant Stories podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Adios. Bye. Talk to you later.